Hi, Carol here, and welcome to my craft room. And I thought I would quickly go over some of the mediums I'm going to start using on some tutorials for you, so that if you have them, you can work along with me. And I think we'll have some fun learning how to use Copics. You can use your blendabilities, your chameleon markers, whatever it is you have. And I wanted to show you how I work with them and what I am going to start working in. And the funniest thing was, I wanted to move my markers to my desk, which are right here, all of my Copic markers, and I have the whole set. And when you look at them, isn't it funny? It doesn't look like you have all of them, but there's 365, well, there's 400 markers there because I have a few extras. And remember I said I had lost my scraper? It was right there. I ordered this and it was driving me crazy. I ordered it for especially to do my stenciling, because it's just one swipe over. Do you think I could find that? When I went to move my pens over, there they were. So you want to grab your markers and have them in a bowl or a dish or whatever right in front of you. That's how I like to work. And if you're using like your blendabilities there, I have them close by. My prismas are right there, so I can put them down. And I'm going to share just a few things we'll do along the way. And I am going to get into my card today after I show you, let's see, the card books. That's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to start doing some charcoals and some penciling. And here's a gargantuous book. And this is for dry media. So this one I used to take and draw when my mom was in the hospital. And I would just sit in little images, larger images. I would just draw, you know, just whatever. And I just pick a page, and this is kind of honking huge. This is large to take with you. And then there's the watercolor books, which are really nice. This is a hardcover that you get from Michael's. It's pretty hefty, but it is made for watercolors, which is really nice. It's a Strathmore visual journal. Okay, and you can use, you know, your pens and paints, which I really like. So I'll be getting into that one. And then there is some other different, like parchment type papers that I like to sketch on. So I got this book. I like to do my inks on this. So it has nice thick pages that present themselves really nice. And then it has some like tissue type paper. I forget what they call this type paper. But anyway, there's this type, and that's a nice size to take with you to do your inks. And then I'm looking forward to my watercolor book. I got this at Michael's. It was rather pricey, but I used my 40% off because it's very thick. It's made just for either your watercolors. You could do your oil, acrylics. You could do, there's so much you could do in here. So I'm going to use it using acrylic paint, or my what ones were it? My Tim Holtz markers will work very nice in there. So you want to get yourself, well, if you want to do that type of medium, so there's the Tim Holtz Distress markers, which are very nice to use. You want to get yourself some really good watercolor brushes in all different fine tip, medium tip, broad tip for your painting or your distress markers. And then there's large drawing books, which I have a number of these. I got another one for my birthday right there. These are beautiful for charcoals. And I just got this book. I just bought this book, and I really like it because it fits in my purse. And I started to draw some funny things, like my thoughts in here. I remember one day going over with my granddaughter that how she should be very thankful. Like other people don't have, you know, people that look after them well and watch out for them and stuff. And as she left, and I was going over that, you know, to be pleased that people are, you know, strict and want the best for you, and, you know, the old Nana sit-down thing. And after she left, it made me think. I sat down and I drew this little, I don't know if you can see it here. Maybe if I cut this light you can see it better, because I have to go over it with my pencils. I just did it with an HP. I want to get my B's out and really do this. But I put a girl, just I put grad 14 because it was before grad. I was, you know, she had got a car and I was really worried, and I said, you know, so I drew just a person standing outside in a grad dress, and then there's a little Nana cop right there I put down, you know, sneaking, looking back and forth. That thought kind of ran through my head after, you know, she left, and I thought, well, I really gave her the, you know, but that's what Nanas do. We have to do that. We have to make them, you know, afraid to be out there in this dangerous world. And then I thought how much I'm going to do. I thought of many times I used to sit, you know, and just contemplate things. And so I just grabbed a marker and I don't know if you can see it, just with my knees up and sitting down when I was younger, because I used to think all the time, and I used to love to draw back then. And so I drew this, and I really like this book, so I'm going to take it with me and have it in my purse. You want to have some watercolor papers. I get the large Strathmore from Michael's and cut them up. There's gloss finish papers for alcohol inks. I'm going to start doing that more often. There's Gina K papers, 120 pound. And then there's your Ellen Hudson Solar White Pack. Right down there. And this is really nice, 110 pound for what I'm going to use today. And the stamp I chose to work with is the Gorgeous stamps. That's what we're going to use. Let me turn my light back on. And these are simply Gorgeous stamps. So I picked this one. I'll show you the image in a minute. I picked one, but they're so beautifully wrapped. And if you want to look with the clock, this one I'm going to do with my other card. And they're just adorable, adorable stamps, beautifully etched. And if you want to start coloring and have nice images, these are one of them. Gorgeous, Gorjuss. And everything is in there, and it's very affordable line. You know, you can get, and then the 8x8 papers that match each one of these sets come with it. So I think it's well worth the investment here. So let's put that aside. And then you want to get yourself some really good paintbrushes. Not good in price-wise. Good like, let me see, how can I put this? It's nice to have a few good brushes, but you want to get yourself different, you know, flat, 2-inch flat round, and long brushes for like calligraphy style, short calligraphy style, square brush flat. Just a whole lot of different. I'm gonna put this inside there. So have, and you can get them on sale and use your 40% coupon at Michael's. And there's an art shop that I'm going to go to next week that I just found out we had in Buffalo, New York. So I want to check that out. There's some really nice Staedtler inexpensive fine liners. These are made in Germany, but they're not, they sit really nice like this on your desk, and they are really good for fine lining. And then you can use the Staedtler watercolor pencils. They're really good, and they're not expensive, so that's a good place to start. This is a Jane Davenport tracing pencil, like for doing pencil drawings. So I really like this. Or you can use inks. So I got that when I ordered my Peerless watercolor set. Staedtler makes some really nice drafting pencils. This is what I use. I have a larger set here, but you can tell they're well loved, and I always keep them very sharp, ready to go on the end. And Staedtler makes a nice oil pastels, and I love to work with oil pastels, so I'm going to get into doing some of that. And Stampin' Up! Has their watercolor pencils. I'm not sure, I don't think they're out anymore, but these are very nice to use. And they come in a set of 24 for watercolors. And Staedtler, I buy a lot of Staedtler. I love their calligraphy sets. Now, this one, this set, I have a lot of calligraphy pens that fit in. I've done calligraphy forever, but I got this one here for Christmas, and I really like this one, but it has a beautiful, I like the separate nibs that go on the wooden handle. I'll show you that. I'll get those out. These I was just cleaning off a shelf, and I thought I'm going to just run this by you. And then there's your, I just keep that. See, I'm starting to make notes for myself. The Peerless watercolor set. They're nice to have. I don't know if you remember me doing this binder, but I put everything in here so that they had a plastic page right beside it so that I could color, or excuse me, right above it so I could color with each one of them. And I cut them in half. And I have the other half. I bought the big set so that I could put away half of them and store them. And then there's your Inktense. Now Inktense are my favorite. I bought the 36 set, and then I loved them so much I went out and got the 72 set. And I have the Inktense blocks. I bought these blocks because this is good for backgrounds, like really quick backgrounds. And they're pretty awesome. So my hands are slippery today. There you go. So these you can work right off with your paintbrush or your water brush. You can use them in there or take them out and just swipe them in for the background. So there's those. And then, of course, the 72 set, which I cannot say enough about. You have the top and the bottom, and you can mix colors. This is awesome. So Inktense, you can't go wrong with the Inktense. I was using my 36 set for a long time. So now I'm going to dig into that 72. And then another nice product is a Spectrum Noir. And they come in the... Let me put this down for you. See if we can do it this way. It looks a little better. So these come in the Nature set of 24, the Primaries, the Essentials, the Floral, and the Marine. And I'm going to get into using these as well. I have these products, enough's enough. Let's get using them. And then my all-time favorite that I cannot wait to break into is, because I love to paint. I like my acrylic paints, and that's why I want to go to that art store, because I want to get myself a great big set of beautiful acrylic paints, like good acrylic paints, not just the dollar store ones that I've been using, and the Michaels ones, you know. But this is my Gansei Tambi paints right here, and these are absolutely gorgeous. They come out of, they have the gold, the silver, the white, and the stark white. And you can take these palettes out. My nails will not allow me to do that, but you can take them out, and let me see if I can get something here that will help assist me in getting one of these out, just to show you. So there it is. So you take one out, you take them out of the wrap, and you put them all near you so that you can use them. And these are like butter, just like butter to use. So I got the large set, and I'm going to start using these. You can get these over on Allen Hudson. I think that's where I bought these, actually. So let's get started. That's just a few items. I was cleaning the shelf of a lot of my one shelf, looking for that couple of things that I've been missing, and found them. So let's get our Misty out, and let's have some coloring fun. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp two images here. I'm going to stamp, I keep my watercolor paper handy. I want to stamp one in the black, My Favorite Things Licorice hybrid ink, awesome for Copics, and then I want to stamp it also in the hybrid ink. This is Hot Fudge, just so that it's not so black. I'm going to do both. So I'm going to place these are look at you, when you turn them over you can see the colors that they used if you want to pick up on that. So I cut my page down to size. Look at that. Isn't this awesome? I'll bring this in so you can see it. And then I want this to be right here, and that's why this Misty is absolutely awesome. I thought with the cats we could get some texture, learn some different ways to make fur. Let's move this over just a tad and get our little cat right there. Whoop. There we go. And let's press this down and get this on here. I'll zoom out and let's open it up. I put a little magnet on my 110-pound solar white paper, and let's get started to using our Copics and our Prisma pencils. Alright, I'm going to sit down and hopefully you can see this well. Let's start with the black licorice. I think I'll do the frame. I'll do it all. We'll just get going on this because I did take time to show you some of the nice products I'm going to start using. There's a new company from UK called Clarity Stamp that's coming to the United States, and I have been waiting and waiting. You should see their stamps and products. Oh my, absolutely beautiful. They went to California yesterday to do a showing on there. I'm really getting this well done. There you go. They did a showing for, they're bringing their company to the US, so that's going to be awesome. Alright, so let's take our Misty and let's put it down. And isn't this better than having to have all of those acrylic blocks, trying to find large ones and trying to get all of your stamps, you know, properly aligned. This does it all for you. This was the best buy. Nope, I'm gonna have to, now see, this is a perfect thing. It did not, I needed more ink. So now, could I, you know, use a Stamp-A-Majig to do this? I don't think so. I couldn't to line this up, so I just open it up and I do it again. Okay, and this is because, not because the ink, this is because I didn't press well enough. So let's close that up, and you're going to get a perfect alignment. And I'm going to stand up, and I'm going to give this some really good pressure. And I think I have to do this because I didn't take out, I've got too much. I've got the foam on the inside and I have the grid pads. There we go. Awesomeness. Excuse me. So let's see what that did. It did a perfect stamp, is what that did. Perfect impression. And I got my magnets all stuck up there so I could only use the one. Can I show you this? Is that not beautiful? And see how if you don't get it the first time, they're right here. And then all I have to do is take a baby wipe and clean this off. And then to clean the actual MISTI, don't use any cleaners. The novice cleaner, I'll show you in a minute, is what Eliana recommends for this invention she invented, which is awesome. So this is sitting up high. I'm not touching the grids, and that's just for the outside because it'll take the grid away, you know, the lines in time if you use normal stamp cleaner or Windex or baby wipes or just that novice spray. She sells it. I use it for my motorcycle on my windshield. I would use nothing else on the acrylic, and this is acrylic, and my windshield on my Harley is acrylic. I think, of course it is. So, there. All clean. And I can take that. That just gave me time for this to dry. I'll set this over here. Isn't that awesome? All right, let's get down here and get to work. This is probably going to be a 2-part, but that's okay. So skins, let's start with our skins. Now you can, there's two, if you work with Prisma pencils and your Copics, this is what you have to know. Once you put your Prisma pencil down, do not go over it with your Copic. It will ruin your Copic nib. You have got to leave the space that you want to use just your Copics on. Or lay your Copic, lay your ink down and then bring your Copics to the ink. Do not lay your Copics down and bring your Copic to the pencil, to that to the Prisma pen, the wax. It'll ruin your Copics. So, or your blendabilities, any alcohol markers. So let's see, what am I going to start with? I didn't get them out, but I'll start with E02, E00, E31. That looks like a good mix here. Although I do like E34. We might use some 2-3. Okay, so here's my skin tones. I don't know which one's going to look best on her, but we'll start this out. And I am going to take my 00 and my 02, and I'm going to take the lids off so that I can go back and forth and hold them in this hand to set the base down on here. Okay, so this is our E00, and when I'm a flicker. I flick, I'm sorry, you can't see that. I want to make sure you can see the image. Are you okay with that there? I like to flick, and I like to choose the spot that I want to leave clear, which is right in the center here. And we can form a nose, we can form any pattern after we get done. And I think I will just take a little bit of this and do some tip to tip. Because then you get, as you can see, you can hold it down for a little bit. As you can see, it will bring a mid-tone in there. Then I'll lightly come up into that space that I left clear, and I want you to see this up close. Whoa, I'm sorry. See how you get that little space in the middle there? And then you can go back, and this is the E02 and this is the E00, and you can go back and test whether you want to keep it like this, and then gradually that E02 will fade. There. I think that's awesome. Then I will close that up. The thing that's hard for me, like people have said, what about the blendabilities? I like the colors of the blendabilities. They're an excellent marker as far as I'm concerned. I cannot stand the lids. They are so hard to get off. It's almost embarrassing when you're coloring. You're struggling. You have to move away from the camera. You have to use all your might to get it off. I don't have that much strength to, to do that. I'm going to go to the E23. Yeah. So that's the only negative. I'm going to go around just the outside perimeter here, and I'll bring it in after. And then I will use my air gun, my air system, my new one. I haven't used it yet. We'll do that on the outside. And let's get some E34. And I'm going to bring it out just a little more. Okay, and then grab my E00 and take the lines out. And you can work like I don't want to go all the way up to where I laid down my base. I just want to go on the edges like so, because it's like a zero marker. It will pull it back. It'll pull it away if if you're flicking it up, it's going to go up into the hair if it's a lighter color. Okay. And then if you see that you have, some of it has come out, grab your zero. I found, like I have a little bit here, I want to just stay there, push it back, stay, push back. Don't, like trying to move it. Leave it right on that ink that's there. Just leave it there. Let it do its job. It will push it back. Just like that. See, it's gone. If I went to rubbing that, you can go back, lay it there. Let the tip push it up into the paper.